Hello, Professor Parent. Hello, everybody. This is Qichen Yu. Today, I'm going to talk about the paper Distributional Social Semantics: Inferring Word Meanings from Communication Patterns, which was written by Braden T. Joyce. I will introduce this paper in 4 aspects. Firstly, introduction, then methodology, next result, and finally discussion. Let's start the first part, introduction. So this page, I selected part of the abstract of this paper. Distributional models of lexical semantics have proven to be powerful accounts of how words' meanings are acquired from the natural language environment. Standard models of this type acquire the meaning of words through the learning of word co-occurrence statistics across large corpora. However, these models ignore social and communicative aspects of language processing. Through the analysis of the communication patterns of over a large amount of individuals on the online forum, Reddit, totaling approximately 55 billion words of text. The findings of the current article demonstrate that the social information about word usage allows for unique aspects of a word's meaning to be acquired, providing a new pathway for distributional model development. And now here is a question: what are distributional models? Distributional models are based on the premise that how a word is used across a sizable subsection of natural language provides evidence about the meaning of that word. Distributional models are a key model type in the cognitive, psychological, and language sciences. The author has introduced history, the development of distributional models. Like the first major model in this line of research is the classic Latent semantic analysis model. And nowadays, a current trend in distributional semantics in both cognitive and machine learning research is the integration of perceptual information into the lexical representations of words. Focus on the present study, the underlying theoretical motivation of the current research is the recognition of the importance of the social word in language comprehension and processing based on usage-based and adaptive theories of language. Now look at the abstract. Here, the author mentioned that the models, the word co-occurrence models ignore social and communicative aspects of language processing. So the present study focuses more on the language communication patterns. And the goal of this article is to determine if communication patterns of word usage embedded within a distributional modeling framework can account for unique variance in word similarity and relatedness data. Such a finding would demonstrate the importance of communicative information to lexicosemantic learning and processing. A number of different learning mechanisms that are employed in distributional modeling, such as matrix decomposition, vector accumulation, and so on. Component of all models is the exploitation of word-word co-occurrence patterns, that is, words that co-occur together across linguistic contexts tend to have more similar semantic representations at the end of the model training. And right semantic representation with WW model, 2 transformations were applied to the co-occurrence matrix informed by the training mechanisms used by neutral embedding models. And here is the two kind of transformation. First is JN transformation, second is DOA transformation. First, we look at the JN transformation. We look at the last one of JN transformation, and I is the word row in the matrix, and J goes through each column in the matrix. The end result of this transformation is that a word representation contains an equivalent amount of positive and global negative information. So if a value is positive in the resulting matrix, it signals that the relation between two words exceeds a base rate of occurrence. But if it is negative, it signals that the word co-occurrence patterns do not exceed a base rate. DOA transformation. The DOA transformation happens in two steps. In the first step, the columns are transformed to normal scores, and the second step, the rows are transformed into normal scores in order to reduce the impact of word frequency and word semantic representation. The result of this transformation are normalized association values, where the unique associations between words are highlighted. In this research, initial analysis will contrast the GN and the DOA transformation and combine transformations to determine if similar analysis hold for new model and corpus types. We need to introduce the models in this research. One is word-based model and another is socially based model. Firstly, the word-based model, we could say the matrix here. We need to calculate the co-occurrence frequency between the two words. Like we need to calculate the co-occurrence frequency of the socially and the model, or model and based, and we fill the blank with the frequency. And for socially based model, there are also two kinds of models here. One is UD model and the other is DU model. It means user by discourse, and DU model means discourse by user. Firstly, in the UD model, each feature is a user, so the resulting memory matrix has the dimensionality of W multiple U, where U is the number of users contained in the Reddit data. And for the first matrix here, we could say that we need to fill the blank with numbers of discourses. And in DU model, it is different from UD model. Each feature will be a discourse with the memory matrix having a dimensionality of W multiple D, where D is the number of subreddits containing Reddit data. And the blank we filled in is the numbers of users. Transformation and also have the transformation techniques, and also the two types of models. So the above matrix transformation techniques will be applied to the WWUD and DU models to improve the quality of the underlying representations. Here is an example. In here, we could say the user's name Jennifer, Owen, Lily, and the number of the number here shows the discourse. The number of discourse now, two discourses occurs the word cardinal, so the blank we need to fill it with number 2. And for DU model, we could say nature, sports, cooking are the types of discourse. So how many people, how many users have mentioned nature, have mentioned the cardinals in the discourse of nature? We could say 2, so number 2 is here. And here is an example of the 2 models we have mentioned in the previous page. The second part, methodology. Firstly is RadiData and Corpora. It's an introduction about their data. The Corpora were assembled from RadiData made available from a website entitled PostShift.io, which uses a publicly available Reddit API to assemble the comments made on the site for each month and makes them available as database files. The paper provides the address of this API. So if you are interested in the Reddit API, you could find it in the paper. In this analysis, all comments made on the site from January 2006 to September 2019 were downloaded and extracted. From this data, 2 Corpora tabs were constructed, user and discourse Corpora. Because we have 2 kinds of model, so we need 2 kinds of Corpora to conveniently calculate the frequency. Each user corpus was composed of an individual user who proposed at least 3,000 comments. This criterion resulted in a large number of user corpora, and the discourse corpora contained each subreddit where these selected individuals communicated, resulting in also a large number of discourse corpora. Here is the picture we have mentioned, and I add the exact number of rows and columns here. So we could say the different model had different metrics. The third part, result. In all models, similarity between words will be taken with a vector cosine between the 2 words row in the memory matrix. The behavioral data that will be used to evaluate the 3 proposed models will be word similarity data, a standard task within distributional modeling and computational linguistics. And for this study, a participant is given 2 words and they are asked to rate how similar they feel those 2 words are on a given scale. Firstly, 5 different behavioral data sets are used in the analysis. We could say here word same MTURK, like this 5 data set was used. In this table, it contains the Pearson correlation coefficients of the 3 models to each other for the different word sets from the word similarity data sets. And this table shows that the models do produce cosine similarity values that are quite correlated with each other, as one would expect. But they are not perfectly correlated, suggesting that they are capturing relatively different information about word meaning. The WW model tends to be most similar to the DU model, while the most similar 2 models are the UD and the DU model. The most information they get is the same, but each model could capture different information compared with others.